Welcome back, ladies and mullets, to another episode on the podcast. The refinery worker, here on YouTube. I'm your host, Shaq the Beast, as usual, as always, as forever, until I get a co-host, or if someone wants to get on here, which they do. I'm still trying to figure that out, iron that out, work that out. But welcome back, ladies and mullets. It's always great to have you motherfuckers here. Always. It is always a good time when I'm here with you guys. So, what's today's episode? What's today's topic? This one came to me from a good buddy of mine. Name is George Ferguson, and he is a crane operator. And this topic was brought to my attention, and it is an ongoing thing it's so simple, but it could be catastrophic. Barricades and respecting the fucking red tape. Because when crane and rigging usually does something, it's fucking red barricade. It's red barricade because it's usually something that can crush you if it falls out of the sky. But before we go further into that, ladies and mullets, like this, comment, subscribe, share it, talk about it, everything. It's just do all that good shit. My last episode, because I wanted to give him a shout out, I did it at the end of the video. Garrett. I said Jarrett, but it's Garrett. Big Nasty. I call him something else. That's kind of why I got... Fuck it, I'm going to call it Bubbles 2.0. That's what I call Big G, Garrett, Big Nasty. But he gave me him and Jeff Simmons gave me the idea for the last episode about forgetting where the fuck you came from. I just want to give those guys a shout out for helping me out with that. But back to George's issue, which is kind of all of our issue. Red barricade, right? When we're doing a big heavy lift or a small fucking lift, it could be a small little lift. If we're doing a lift, period, it's usually red barricade tape. It's just going to be red barricade because the red barricade is indicating danger. It says danger. That's hence the word danger on the barricade tape. Right? And people still walk under, and I've seen motherfuckers blatantly just snap the tape. They just rip the barricade tape and just walk through in the middle of a lift. And it's not a good day if something was to fall from the sky and come down crashing on you and kill you, right? So we put up these things as a precautionary measure to keep you guys safe, to keep you out of harm's way. But some of you ladies and mullets out there, I want to say worms, because that's a wormy ass move. It will come under the barricade tape or come into the barricade in between the outriggers, which is there to keep you away from getting crushed by the counterweights, by the way. These motherfuckers do it anyway. They don't care. It's like, if you don't value your life, go do that somewhere the fuck else, because now you're putting myself, my rigging partner, and the crane operator in jeopardy because you're being an idiot. Don't do that. If you don't care for yourself, I never promote suicide or harm, but go talk to somebody. Just go. I don't want to see it. I know no one else wants to see it, but don't be stupid. The barricades are put in place so that you can, so awareness is brought to you that it's like, oh, something's going on here. Let me look around. Let me ask someone, hey, what's going on here? Oh, we're doing it. And with barricade tags, there are barricade tags. So the barricade is to get your attention. The tags is to give you the information as to what is the reason you're being kept out of this area, right? Simple. Not really. Because it will say the date, the reason why, who to get in contact, who is doing the work inside of the barricade. It's laid out on 4 corners, which it should be. If you can put up a 4-sided barricade, there should be a tag on each side. So whichever way you run into this barricade, you will see why, who, where, what, when, and all that good stuff, but people still will walk and it'll say overhead lift. That is the simplest, one of the things you don't have to think about when you're putting together the barricade. On the tags, you can always guarantee with crane and rigging, it's going to be overhead lift. The ones on the outriggers will be, the counterweights could crush you. So you can put something different, but sometimes, most of the time, they have like pre-made barricade little placards or whatever that go on chains or whatever. But if you have to, it'll say crush hazard on them. But for crane and rigging, and there'll be a landing zone, and it will say overhead lift, and people will still walk underneath or through the barricade. There was one incident. It wasn't my crane, but I was watching it, and I'm like, I wanted to step in, but I was so blown away by the the lack of caring, no sense of urgency, just blatant disrespect. This rigger was blowing the shit out of his whistle as if he was working for a fucking tip. Like, dude, he was blowing the shit, like blowing it to the point where it was obnoxious because a gentleman had walked not only in the barricade while the lift was going on, but he was under the load. Now, the rigger's not going to put their self in danger because you're a moron. Here's the thing. Not only was the rigger blowing their whistle, the crane operator was leaning on the horn. There's crane operators that when they come in, they're like, all right, you start swinging. They'll wait. You blow your whistle. The crane operator go again. They'll go. No. Between the fucking rigger and the crane operator, it was, and then the crane was going the entire time it was swinging. And the guy looks at the rigger and he's like, "What?" In a sense, like, you're fucking with me. What do you want? And he's like, "Dude, look up." Motherfucker looks up. He stood there, looked back at him, and then continued walking in the direction he was walking. I was blown away. I said, "Holy shit, holy fucking shit! What in the?" I don't want to say anything to offend anybody, but it was sickening how ignorant this individual was, and the fact that he got upset and looked like that gentleman, the rigger and the crane operator, inconvenienced him by stopping him. So yeah, these barricades are definitely so minute if you think about them. It's just plastic. It's plastic with colors and letters and words, and they have little tags dangling off of them. But they're so great and powerful, and they could be sought as giants if you actually apply them and utilize them the way they should be, and it's to save you. I believe it was in New York City. One of the construction sites downtown, gentleman, I believe he was a part of the crew that was actually working there. He was killed by a tape measure. A tape measure. It fell high. You put a small little tape measure in your hand, just a little small 25 footer, the little ones. It doesn't even have to be the big giant ones. And imagine that falling from 2, 3, 4, 500 feet from the sky. There's no way you're gonna make it, especially if it hits in the right area, the head, the neck. You know, worst case, you're paralyzed. Something's broken, shattered. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you put yourself in that predicament? Why would you put the individuals that set up something, right? Because if you think about it, the crane operator, he or she is going to get in trouble behind it. It's just how severe, the severity of it. We don't know until the individual dies. That's involuntary manslaughter, I believe. I could be wrong. Even though it's not the crane operator's fault, it could have been 100% that individual's fault. They put these things in place to keep you safe, but you put their lives in jeopardy, forced them to be in court and prison, and involved in an investigation because They did put up a barricade. They did try to keep you out. They used the tools that they had in place, the horn, the whistles, the human barricade, and you still chose to come in, and then you, God forbid, pass from it. You put these people in jeopardy, and you put your own life in jeopardy for what? A shortcut? Shortcuts are the worst, no matter how they I'm not gonna get into it, but shortcuts are not good. They have their place if it's like dire need and the only way, but if there is a way to do something without taking a shortcut, doing it the right way, there's no need for a shortcut. If you're being lazy and you don't want to walk around, because usually our barricades are huge. If we're flying something big or up high, you got to take into account like deflection. If it bounces off of something and changes direction, so we make a big enough barricade in each direction to keep people out and keep people safe. If you're being lazy and you don't want to walk around, that's your bad. Take your ass to the gym, because it's also another episode, a previous episode of mine, that you want to stay healthy. So yeah, all right, oh whoops, I gotta walk another 30 feet to get around to get to where I need to go safely. That's your cardio. Ladies and mullets, take care of yourselves. Don't be that guy or that girl that walks into, even if it's a fucking Boilermakers barricade, they drop a bolt, a wrench, you're out of there. Don't be that guy. I'm gonna cut through this barricade. I need to just get to the other side of the unit. Just walk around. I've been on plenty of scaffolds where things just accidentally got kicked off by somebody, and I'm like, dude, I could have flew a bolt bag up for you. There's no excuse. They can Shortcuts are not good, and accidents can be prevented. They can, and you just gotta. Sometimes you gotta work a little bit harder at making it preventable to make sure that no one gets hurt. It's not that hard. That's the sad part. It's not that hard. We just got to do our due diligence and work a little bit harder sometimes. We get paid by the hour. So if something takes you a little longer walking around or even putting up a barricade, there are some people that don't want to put up a barricade, and then it's your fault if you get someone hurt. You know you're supposed to have a barricade up. Ladies and mothers, do your job. Work harder than yesterday. Look forward to tomorrow. Be a hand and not a pinky. Please, ladies and mothers. I can't stand it. Most of all, don't be a worm. Put God first always in everything you do, and you'll succeed no matter what. Always have God in your heart. Ladies and mullets, I love y'all. Thank you again to George, Jeff, Garrett. Y'all are awesome. And all the feedback, because I've been getting more ideas and stuff from episodes. I just can't do them all at the same time. If I could, I would. But thank you, ladies and mullets, for always being there. You guys are awesome. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. And I'm out of here. Y'all be safe.